So, hi everyone, I'm Nandan and I work as a product data analyst at MobilityWare, which has given me this opportunity to present something about data visualization. We're going to directly look at how data visualization has evolved over the years and what we can do with large amounts of data that we encounter every day with our work. So, to start with, I would like this session to be as interactive as possible. So can anyone tell me what they think data visualization is? Or in the current context of ever increasing data, what do you think is data visualization? Anybody? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, right? Charts, trends. So some of the topics that we're going to discuss today would include an introduction to data visualization with Tableau and some real-world examples while performing the demo in the end, and something for all of you to take home in the end. And if you don't have Tableau already, please download it. Okay. I would like to get started with a small video that I think is relevant to this presentation.
They say knowledge is power, but how do you make knowledge powerful? Especially when that knowledge comes in the form of data. Lots of data. How do we find the meaning? Tell the story. Share the story. Infographics, where data meets design. What makes good data visualization? Take a few seconds to count the sevens in this number set. How many were there? Not sure? Natural. A simple color change makes comprehension almost instant. Color is one of several pre-attention attributes, like size, orientation, flicker. Visual cues that the human brain processes within 250 milliseconds. Now imagine that we're not looking for specific numbers or patterns. We can use color to show correlation, size to show quantity, or orientation to show trends. And not just data. The power of design can be used to better communicate all sorts of information. Processes, hierarchy, anatomy, chronology, better communication through innovation. Because your message is only as good as your ability to share it.
All right, enough. Okay. So I would describe data visualization as something that could decipher information that's contained in a text format or any other format in a visual in the visual context that could enable me to understand the data hidden inside in the best way possible. So what are some of the most commonly accessed data visualization or the common charts or the graphs that we see on a daily basis? It's the trends, it's the correlations, or how does one variable compare with another? How does the trend look like? Like, for example, how did the sales team perform for the last 1 year, or so on and so forth? All this data is hidden inside, and we have to decipher what makes sense and how do we see that in the best way possible. And more or less, everything can be graphed out in a scatter plot, right? In a two-dimensional coordinate axis, we can say how does one, look at the performance of sales for the last year or so on and so forth. which is exactly what's shown in this graph. And why is data visualization important in today's context? And most of us know that we work with huge amounts of data in our everyday lives. And this particular fact that 90% of the data in the world has been generated over the last 2 years is significant to us. And 2.5 billion gigabytes of new data is generated every day. And as a matter of fact, by 2020, we are going to see 44 zettabytes of data of the entire digital universe that we're going to have at that point in time. And why is data visualization important, and what makes it good is the fact that you can absorb a lot of information really quickly. It can help make decisions that can come out of large amounts of data with relative ease. And also that's something that could help us uncover patterns and trends in the data and be able to connect the dots and do a lot of, it could also mean like you can just chart out a graph to look at your daily usage of a certain product or a service or something, or find outliers that are not usually observed in the kind of data that you come across. So I see a lot of us using a variety of tools that can generate extremely wonderful and powerful graphs and cool diagrams and so on and so forth. But really, does that help? Does that really help? Like most of the times we make a lot of analysis using these tools and techniques, but at the end of the day, if you're not able to communicate what the diagram or the chart is giving out in terms of the final metric or the KPI that we intend to increase or decrease our floor, it really doesn't matter, as long as if we just keep working on creating wonderful metrics and graphs, but not being able to convey the real important information that's hidden, then there's really no use. So I would suggest that don't work with data visualization as a means of appearing cool, or for this, just for the sake of complexity, you build a lot of different visual graphs, but at the end of the day, if it's not conveying what it should, then we're just wasting time. And some of the, oh my God. And some of the other examples could include social network analysis, okay. Yeah, so it's talking about social network analysis. So the graph on the left is exactly what we did on a tool called as NodeXL, which maps out your network cohort and calculates your central density, which is basically telling you how well you're connected to a lot of different users on networks such as Twitter, right? It could be based on the number of followers you have, number of people that you are following, number of tweets that you've tweeted, number of retweets that have come across, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, if all just showing this graph in a presentation or to your senior management would really not make any sense. So I would suggest that be aware of your audience, know what you're conveying in terms of the actual important metric that you have to convey to your audience, and then focus on the tool that you really want to use. And in those terms, I'm pretty sure that many of you have already used Tableau, at least know the basics of Tableau. And today we're going to delve a little bit deeper into what we could do with Tableau to get started, and we shall see some examples. So to give you an idea of what a good visual should look like, would be something that's easy to understand for any audience. Should be able to convey specific information and answer questions that directly is shown in the visual, and should be user friendly. By that I mean you should be able to use your tool to modify things and to change your colors or metrics or whatnot in the tool in a relatively easier fashion. And yeah, and finally, the rule of thumb for a data visualization tool that we have observed is that within the 10 to 15 seconds of showing somebody something, they should be able to get a grasp of what's going on. So slightly going to the future, we now want to see what will visualization look like in future. So on the top right, what you're seeing is the performance of NASDAQ for the last 21 years. That's an example of virtual reality, basically taking it one step further and showing, basically traversing through data to show the performance of NASDAQ for the last 21 years. And according to a research firm IDC, the market for virtual reality is going to be 162 billion in 2020. This could include games, social networks and whatnot. And the next other big thing that we're going to, in the short future, see is the mobile first visualizations. And Tableau has already done its part in delivering the device layout for mobile phones, like smartphones, to basically include all the visualizations, which can be as handy as just looking at some of the dashboards in your mobile phone. You can make decisions on the fly. And yeah, and another big thing that we've almost always hear about is artificial intelligence, right? So one of the biggest things that's coming out of that is natural language generation, NLG. So what that essentially means is that I would want to give you an example of, let's say, a hedge fund analyst or a financial expert looking at 50 monitors in front of him to make some decision of a stock or something, that for him to take any decision, he has to monitor at least 5 to 10 screens and then comprehend the information from all of it and then be able to make the decision. However, what NLG would do is collect all of the information from those 50 or 10 or how many ever devices at once and advise you to act in a way that's best for the enterprise. So that's all happening in the future. So basically looking at 50 graphs and making a decision from there with a fly is like unbelievable. So at this point, I would like to ask you guys as to what tools have you guys used or are still using for data visualization. And if there are anything that's not mentioned here, of course, there are many others, but these are what I think are primarily used for data visualization. And today we're going to talk about Tableau in a little more detail. Any questions? Okay. So Tableau was introduced in 2003 by some students at Stanford University to basically, so their idea was to replace the PowerPoint presentation. They wanted to make Tableau a tool that people could use rather than use PowerPoint presentations. That was the basic intent at that point. And then it grew into a more data visualization, business intelligence tool. So some of the biggest names in the industry are using Tableau, and they have a lot of different products catered to specific purposes. And today we're going to talk about why Tableau is one of the best tools for data visualization. It is because, like I've already shown and mentioned, that charts and graphs are easy to understand information, right? But let's think about what else could make Tableau a good tool for us to use for data visualization. It is the speed at which it puts your data in the visual form and helps you make decisions by deriving insights. It's just with a click, you can get insights about anything that's related to the data that you are looking at. You could integrate it with a variety of other tools and reporting systems that I'm going to talk about in a little while. And the best part, you don't have to code. It's all just a drag and drop feature that helps you work with visualization the best. Stressing on the importance of Tableau and on the integrations that it can handle and manage, it is easily. And at this point, I want to know how many of you are data analysts or data scientists working on R, Hadoop. Okay, I see quite a few. So you must, if you're not already using Tableau for visualization, I would, just put it here that it is also integrated with R, Python, and Hadoop for, easy visualization. And then you can also work on a lot of other stuff like dashboarding and time series analysis for statistical purposes and so on and so forth. Okay. No matter which industry you come from, no matter which department you work for, you're still going to work with a lot of data, right? And you are going to show some of your work to someone above you or to your team or to somebody relevant or making a sales pitch or so on and so forth. Everybody uses some kind of data analysis tool and visualization tool for working these days. They say data is the new oil. What do you guys think? Okay.
The new
Come on, guys.
Wait, what did you say? The new what?
Oil?
Oh, the new oil.
Yeah.
Bring up the energy in the room.
Integration with other databases and servers. So name it and you have it. Tableau can connect you with anything possible. Some of you might work with MySQL, some of you might work with Oracle, some of you might work with SAP, HANA, so on and so forth. But it's there for you to work with the choice of your tool. Sure.
But I think it's important to mention that you can only access all these data sources if you.
Yeah, that's part of the package that you take as an enterprise that you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, if you have just a public version, I think you can only access like Excel text file.
Yes. I'm talking about from an enterprise perspective here. Sure. Yeah, but what you said was right. Yeah. Okay, pros and cons. Haven't all been talking about pros all this while? Okay, some cons. It's expensive. It's about 1,600 per user if you're taking on a user basis, or it could cost you $1 million if you're buying it just for your enterprise and giving the licenses to anyone and everyone. And it might not be the best tool for version control. So many of us also use Git, right? For creating codes and sharing codes, making changes and a lot of stuff. I don't think Tableau is suitable for that though. I think that's one of the places where Tableau needs to improve. And one other place that I really think Tableau should be doing a better job is in data preparation. So Tableau cannot handle unstructured data as well. You need to define a lot of things for Tableau to make sure it gives you a good visualization that you would want to showcase. Okay, some examples that we are going to, sure.
Tableau actually just came out with a new software called Tableau Prep. It's a data preparation.
Okay.
But it's not in like a full form yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, have they already introduced, or is it just in the?
It's released, but it's not like the full version.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's a step forward. Okay. Okay. This is one of my favorite examples with which how the city of New York, who introduced the bike sharing system recently, wanted to see where the people are using their bikes and riding to. I would want to show this real quick. Oops. Look for it. No. Okay. There you go. Okay. Pay attention. Isn't it cool? Why do you think it's switching between black and white? Yeah, that's what it is.
So what do the circles represent?
Sorry?
So what does the circles
The
represent?
concentration of people in that area? Yeah, using the bikes, yes. So that was that. Another example of what we're doing in California that's causing more and more wildfires. What are you guys up to? Okay. That's another infographic. It was still existent in the 1950s. Some more industry-specific examples of how Tableau could be used in marketing analytics. So many of you who've been working in marketing would want to know the performance of your product or service in a variety of regions, right? You could create a dashboard as simple as this and observe it over a period of time to make decisions on the fly. So that's how it is. I've also shared the link to all of the dashboards and the gallery that I've included in my presentation so that you could revisit and learn more and explore more. Some other unconventional examples that I would like to share and show as to how it could be like a visualization pitfall for many of us while presenting something. So the top graph or the image shows a social network analysis of tweets with keywords related to shopping, Disney, and Jigsaw. What the graph says is that people who have tweeted about shopping, Disney, and Jigsaw have something in common. That could be node density, the central density, and so on and so forth in terms of social network analysis. However, Tableau can reproduce the same graph, but would we do it is the question. Do we want to do it? What do you guys think? For those of you who already use Tableau, this is the question to you guys. What do you guys think? Should we use Tableau for such a graph? Tableau can do it, mind you. No, yes?
The complexity of creating actual visualization.
Exactly. It can create the visualization, but what are we going to convey to the users who I want to show this presentation to or the image to, right? Can I talk about the central density? No. Can I show them the actual connections? No. I can't do any of it. Instead, I could use a similar tool made for social network analysis like NodeXL, which could give out a lot of metrics in addition to the image that I can show, which would make a lot more sense. And any soccer fans here? Okay. You know what I'm talking about in the second diagram? Yeah, it's about the defensive campaign in the last season and how badly United had performed with respect to the positions that defenders have played in. So in the first diagram, what it shows is that, so basically the darker the color, the lesser the concentration of players in those regions. So many of your defenders who have to be in this position are also in this position. It's only because of the manager tactics that's caused this kind of representation if you observe their performance over a period of 1 year. So, so mind you, Tableau is used across all different departments and industries, and sports analytics is one of them. Some of the cool dashboards, and I've shared the link to the gallery, and I definitely recommend you all to explore the gallery to learn more about a variety of things that people have done, and there are some really, really cool presentations there. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what Tableau can do in terms of making it like a PowerPoint presentation itself. So Tableau has a feature called as stories that you can include in your presentation, which is nothing but a group or like a combination of worksheets that you've already worked on. Let's say you make a graph of like a scatter plot. let's say you make a pie chart in another tab. You combine all of those information in a story to be able to describe what really happened in this story that you want to tell your audience about. So what we observe here is the question related to fatalities decreasing in the United States. What really caused it to decrease? And you can build your story right from 1975, and then what did we introduce in 1980, and how did that change, and so on and so forth, all in one place. You don't have to go to a different folder, copy the graph, come back to your presentation, paste it, align it, and do all sorts of things. You can do everything in one place. So that's what this is talking about. All right. In this part, we are going to talk about a small example from a USDA dataset, and we're going to perform a small analysis in Tableau. Ready? Okay. I'm sorry I could not share the deck with you earlier, but please copy the link in your tabs and get the data set so that we can start working. For those of you who've already installed Tableau, and it's for those of you who don't have Tableau, it's fine. You can just pair up with somebody across and see. Have a question. Do all of you work with data visualizing? Does anyone want to share any experiences that they've come across? Yeah, or with any kind of visualization or.
Tableau is something I didn't realize order operation with Tableau in the context, especially when you do a calculation and across the board and then you add like a filter on top of that, it doesn't realize that there's content versus very bottom. And so I know what the data ends up look like, and I'm like, why is my percentage not showing up the way I should sum? And like, oh, I had to Google and I was doing this complex calculation with course like, Amy, there's a little thing that you can actually switch off. I spent an hour doing a complex calculation when I could just easily turn on the feature at the filter level.
Yeah.
So that's
some of the other common pitfalls in Tableau that I'm going to just show you once you guys tell me if you're all ready and we get started. Does everyone here have Tableau? Okay. Good? Okay. Cool. So there's a lot of data around us all the time, right? Like there are so many of us. There's pizza, there's like food preferences for each of us. There is the companies that we work for, the salaries we earn, the demography we come from. There's data everywhere. So how could we make sense of any data that's being thrown at us? As an example, we have just downloaded a data set very similar to what I just spoke about, and we're going to look at what we can make sense of. Is there anybody who's never used Tableau? Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'm curious. So, what other tools? So, how many people here work as data analysts currently?
Okay.
Okay, so a handful. Who comes from software engineering? Who's not? So, if you're not a data analyst, what are you working as? Students, maybe.
Students, yeah.
UCI? No.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
I work for like BI.
BI? Okay.
Okay.
And then what tools do you guys use right now currently for data visualization?
Or data analytics, you know.
Excel?
Sure,
Power
sure.
BI? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I would like to maybe talk to you after and get like your perspective, because I know there's a lot of clashing between Power BI versus Tableau, and then some other tools that that are out there as well. So okay, just wanted to get a feel for the room. Hopefully this is the demo that we go through is going to be.
So were you guys able to download Tableau?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
So
if there's
not
anything
able-
that you need help with, feel free to reach out to Sarah.
Was anyone not able to download it? We're all good? No? Oh, so you have someone next to you who you can compare with?
Okay, cool. So on the left side of your screen, what do you see? You have something called as measures and dimensions, if I'm right? Right? Can you see? Sorry. To start with, you have to basically select the data set that you just downloaded from the Excel file where it says connect to Excel. Got it? Okay. Were you able to ingest all of the data? Okay. And then, let me show it to you, 1 second. Is this how it's looking now? Okay. Now, click on this tab which says New Worksheet. Good? Yeah? Okay. So, any confusion?
No, you're just getting the password.
Okay.
Did anyone need to as well? You guys can chat, it doesn't have to be quiet.
Yeah.
We're going through a demo.
So, are you all on the same page? I mean, this specific page? Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah?
The link to the data set, if you've not already gotten it. Good. Still download? Tableau? Done?
I'm sending it to one person, but everyone else is able to get it. I mean, play, look at the features, start talking about what it means to be a measure, what it means to be a dimension.
So is everyone on this page now? Good?
Yeah.
So what are you guys observing on the left side under dimensions now? What do you guys see? State and country? So onto the left side of state and county, you have a globe symbol, right? That means the Tableau is automatically recognized that it's a geo variable. That means it knows what to do with it, and it has already classified it into a geo variable. So you didn't have to tell Tableau to do anything. It already has done it by itself. Isn't that cool? Now the next step is to just double click on the state and the county. Good. I see some smiles on the first time Tableau users. Good? No? You want to prepare with that?
I don't prepare. I'm further along. I double click on state and county. Oh, at the top.
No, you just have to double click on the left. Wait, you just click on the state and the county that you see on the left. Just double click. If you need help.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, okay.
How many thousand Alaska is that?
Alabama.
Emptiness in the spaces. What desert is too.
Huh?
We're just looking at the distribution of dots. There's not many dots in Alaska, right?
Yeah.
Look at it's all covered. And then there's also where the desert is.
Yeah.
There's other stuff like the mountains. Huh? I know, right? That's all But look how dense it is, like not more.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
yeah, the right. That's what we call
All right, we're going to get started now with the demo. So did everyone double click on the state and the county? And what did you guys see? What did you guys see? As a map, right? So Tableau has built-in map functions that automatically understands that you're intending to look at a map and the distribution of all of your data. So some of the pre-built functions that I mentioned before are here. You can go through them in greater detail at a later point in time, but this is what it is. So when you input a zip code, when you input a county, state, be it as an abbreviation or just as CA or anything, Tableau already understands that. So that I think is quite cool. In the next step, please look for adult obesity rate from the measures panel and put that into the color panel on the left. For those of you who need help, feel free to call people on the left. Whoever is help. In the measures panel, it's at the bottom. And change the color to red, green, white, diverging from going into the edit option in the. Are you all with me? At least the first time Tableau users?
So if you do something that's like, oh my god, this is like I throw some up, just don't put it back. So you can bring it right back. He's saying to call our face. How do you get the color?
On the left side of your panel, you have color. Just drag and drop the adult obesity rate variable into colors.
Okay.
Okay, this is where you look for adult obesity rate here. So I'm just going to show how it's done. So adult obesity rate into the color panel, just like here, just like drag and drop. Right? Once that's done, Now there's a lot of information with respect to a lot of different states, right? Let's just filter it down to Alabama. So what we're going to do now is to drag the state variable into the filtered box. That is, take the state variable and drop it in the filter box, just like this. And unselect, say none, and then select Alabama. And then say OK. And if you want to change the color, go to the color panel here and say edit colors. Look for the color that you want and say OK. Are you guys with me? Okay.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's got a statement. Here we go. Yep, yeah, and now, you can change it. Perfect.
So first time Tableau users, what do you think? Good? Okay. Huh? What do you Huh? Yeah.
And if you reverse your name on your color, go back to change the color and reverse it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I forgot. Okay. Sure.
Something for this. Do you recommend two color tone or like one graphical color?
It depends. It really depends on the context and the type of visualization that you want to your audience to see.
So maybe if you're looking like under this DMI versus that DMI.
Exactly. Let's deeper down. Like once you deep dive into your data and you want to make a lot more complex analysis, then it depends on that. Like you want a specific segmentation, right? Of users in a certain region, we go with this. Users in a certain region, we go with this. And you can show them like color differences.
Yeah. Right. If you align with this, then you take one. And two, only one. There's only one. Over 2, 4. Color 1, 2.
Okay, so Tableau is working for most of you, I guess. And on to the next step. Just rename the shade worksheet to map view by right-clicking on the tab at the bottom. So this is the tab, sheet 3. I can just double-click and it gets highlighted, and I can always change the name to the one that I want. So Once you do that, you're going to see the same name appear at the top of your worksheet as well. Slide. Good? Okay. Okay, now before you do all of those shown in the slide, I just want all of you guys to drag just adult obesity rate into rows and percentage smokers, percentage eating fruits and vegetables, and percentage who do not exercise into the respective places that I mentioned. Adult obesity rate into rows. So go to a different sheet. So go to a different sheet, and what was that? Adult obesity rate. And percentage smokers. Percentage smokers. Just drag and drop all of these things. Are you guys on the same page as this? Okay. At this point, can anyone tell me why do we see just one dot or 1 point, one data point? Huh? So what's happening is that Tableau automatically aggregates your data. So it really does not understand how should it bifurcate your data into or split or slice and whatnot, right? So everything is just a data point, which is a sum of all the percentage smokers. It's all summed up and shown as just 1 point. So what are we going to do about that is now drag the country and state variables into a level of detail, which I'm going to show now. Go to state, the detail, just drop it there. Take country, do the same thing. It's all different now, I hope. So now each data point represents a particular state and a county. So we have concentration of a lot of different states and counties into each of those metrics that we are looking at now. Are we all on the same page now? Okay. If you guys don't see the same page, then you guys are missing something, but it's okay. We can always talk and explore or figure out what needs to be done. But next step is changing the color is optional. If you guys want to change, you can change, or else just keep the same color. It doesn't really matter. That's more of aesthetics. But I would want to go to the analysis tab at the top of the menu and check trend lines, which is here. Select trend lines and then show all trend lines.
What was it again?
The trend lines analysis. Yes. Yes.
Oh, it's a regression.
Yeah. It's a trend. Yeah. Okay. Is it looking like this for everyone? Okay. Finally, dashboarding. How many of you build dashboards for your companies using Tableau or something else? Oh, okay. Tableau. Okay. Has it been easy? Any pinch points that you want to share?
How to create a news story from it, and then once you kind of get all the way up, you got to see exactly the right SVP thing. Can you add in here and you can use a container for it, and it kind of totally shift everything up to add more stuff in that kind of white space. That's my main point.
Right.
Learn to use container and stick to container.
Right.
Because if you need to make any changes down the road and you swap things out, or you could just like destroy it and kind of change their layout.
Yeah.
That's my little pitfall.
Yeah. However, since 2015, Tableau has increased the size of the width and the height that it's showing in the dashboards. So that's a good point. So for this particular demo, we are going to limit it to just this visual that's shown. So like I mentioned previously, dashboard is a group of worksheets that you can bring together to a single sheet and make it look like a dashboard. And you're able to control all of the different variables used in any of the worksheets into all of the worksheets that you're going to create from now. What that means is if you're using data from the same source, you can apply the filter to any of the other worksheets that you previously worked on to create a dashboard. To help you better understand, I have state variables in this dashboard and the Alabama dashboard worksheet that I previously created. If I pull both of the worksheets into the dashboard, I'm able to filter out by state so that changes in one worksheet is also reflected in the other. So whatever calculations that I make in one worksheet is also shown on the other worksheet related to the state that I select as a filter. I hope it's clear. Any questions? Okay, coming to dashboard. Please select the 4-window tab that you see at the bottom, which is this. So just click on the tab that has 4 windows that says it's a dashboard. And to the left of your panel, you have sheets named as sheet 1 and sheet 2 if you've already not named it as map view, because I haven't. So I can see sheet 1 and sheet 2. So I'm going to show you how easy is it to create dashboards. Are we all on the same page? Okay, perfect. So just drag your sheet 1 onto the main worksheet. That's your dash presentation 1, the top part of your presentation. And drag sheet 2 just below that. So if you have sheet 1, just drag and drop it here. Sheet 2, drag it, drop it below this. This is how you create a dashboard. It's as simple as this. Are we on the same page as this? Any issues? Okay, good. You guys are fast learners, man. And you can rename the title to whatever that you want to show. And that's it for the demo.
Show how to add a filter for the stage. They don't have stage.
Oh. Click on this. So you select the worksheet that you would want to add the filter like this. Select the worksheet, go to Analysis tab. If you already have filters, you have these filters, country, state, obesity rate, and so on and so forth. Just click on state. So you can see it on the right, it automatically pops up, and we've selected just Alabama. That's what it's showing. However, I could change it and I could say, show me all states, and it would look like this, which is not so pleasant. So just keep it to Alabama. So if you're able to do this much, I guarantee you that you'll have a smooth sailing going forward, considering how easy Tableau is to work with. So, okay.
So one thing is like right now the filter is only applicable to the top.
Yeah.
How do you make it applicable?
So right now, since I selected this worksheet and the filter is applicable only to the top part of your dashboard. However, I could change this and I could actually make it applicable to the other worksheets that I worked on. So the way I do that is I go here, I say apply to worksheets, and I could say selected worksheets. I could only select or filter down the worksheets that I really want to show, or just say all using this data source. So you see how the graph changed below, because it's only showing all the different metrics for Alabama only now. So that's how we do it. And good, fun, enjoy. Any questions?
How do you add the title?
Oh, you can just double click and change it. But if you specifically want to add title, you can show where is that? Where is that? It's a stable layer. So basically the title would be the name of the worksheet here down below, like you named map view here and it showed up as a title here. And once you drag that, that's going to be your title. If you want to change, you can always double click and change it to whatever you want. Yeah. That's basically it. And okay, so as promised, are you all done? Any questions? Any thoughts? Sorry? Oh, slider. This. Oh, the. Sorry. No. It's just based on the data that we've selected. It's not an actual filter though. This is not a filter. We haven't selected this. You can only format the fonts here and edit the title. That's it. You can't change because this is not a filter. Yeah. However, if I don't want all of the states to be shown here, I could always go down and say multiple values and drop down. So it would just clean it up and just show you the state that you've selected. So are we good? Are we done? any last thoughts? Because I know you're all waiting for something to take home. No? Yes? You all want something, right? No? Yes? Okay. A small assignment. This is a take home, completely optional. You want to do it, share, and get back to us. We can always talk about it, explore more, and figure out things. And you can always go to Tableau Learning and Training website to understand any specific, calculations or methodology that you want to follow. So basically, this is it. And as a small, you can take the screenshot. I'm going to share the deck with you in a bit, but you can all work on it and share your experiences. Okay, so this deck is primarily to go and visit each of those websites to see what can we learn about Tableau from for training, for understanding different things. There are some blogs, there are some cool presentations, galleries, and some teaching and some training. So feel free to explore and come back to us with your thoughts. And some additional forums for data visualization. People have done some crazy things with Tableau, believe it or not. Just go to the gallery and give it a shot and you will see some mind-blowing things. Sure. Oh, yes.
You guys also integrate Tableau.
Yeah, we integrate it with a lot of different databases, be it Amazon, AWS, like Athena, Redshift, or MySQL. We use Tableau quite a bit.
I'll say one word on the integrations. They're not always easy. So like, I don't know if you tried playing with it, but the integration with Python is called Tableau, and it's not super easy. So like, yeah, they have these integrations, but like it has like a learning curve to it, right? So you have to understand like how to work with the server, the client, and the messy documentation and make sense of it, and then get it integrated like on the server. So yeah, those things exist and it's good. That's where I think that Tableau has a little bit
Gone.
to grow is with it, especially with Python and R, because it has its own machine learning stuff, but you'd rather build your own model, right, and train it and then integrate it. So yeah, that's just one challenge that I noticed. Like,
I think one pitfall is that it does not have a great documentation to integrate it with like a lot of tools. Although you can do it, it just takes you a lot of time and energy.
And I know a lot of the more complex visualizations that are in the gallery.
Yeah.
They're like, you would require fonts to actually customize or like present like a sanity diagram that you see in Google Analytics.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are some great blogs that describe how to do it, but it's like, you gotta spend weeks, not months to try to do it.
Right.
Because that's your leadership. It's very
Yeah. I think more often than not, we are presenting our, decks to senior management, and they're really not interested in understanding. I did some statistical analysis, I did regression, and so on and so forth. I can't show them the scatter plots and stuff. All they're interested in understanding: did the KPI move? Yeah, no. And then where do we go from there? That's what matters. And I think Tableau is really one of the easiest tools that we can get started with to build our way into it and perform better and better dashboards and visualizations.
I think it's really exploring.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks for coming, and it was a great time having you all here. And any parting thoughts, feel free to get back with the assignment. I should have made it compulsory. Kidding. It's fine. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and yeah, feel free to reach out. Cool.
All right, so now you're all Tableau experts. Just kidding.